We are seeing some crazy signals printing on the chart right now. Do not fall into the trap of being bearish simply because the last 2 weeks were bearish. 2 days ago, I made a video discussing the potential bullish bounce we were about to get on Bitcoin. What if Bitcoin is about to get a massive move? What if Bitcoin was holding the volume weighted average price since April? What if Bitcoin was also holding the Fibonacci golden pocket that we've had since June's low? What if
Jason Casper was the best YouTube analyst in the world? Wouldn't you like his video and subscribe to his channel?
Now, you know, Donald Trump has a good point. And speaking of Donald Trump, we indeed have gotten a move since this low of just under 4%. And in the Casper True VIP Discord, we've been playing this market like a fiddle, taking the long trade from right over here, giving the setup in advance and taking the trade, of course, in real time, locking in the juiciest profits, taking the long trade once again from this area right here, giving the trade in real time as we are coming down to the area. And then, of course, letting the community know that we flipped short because of weakness on the chart. So we've taken the longs, we've taken the shorts, and then, of course, we were looking for that one last big push down to around the $107,000 to $108,000 level as we were watching the 4-hour money flow, hidden bullish divergences printing on these high time frames, expecting that next drop to be the one right into the trade setup that we were prepared for, which we are currently in right now. If you want to join the best trading community in the world, where myself and other instructors are giving you their live trading multiple times a day, you can go to jasoncaspertrading.com, click the link to join the best trading community in the world. And the question now is Bitcoin about to pump all the way up to a new all-time high? This is a very, very important zone of support. And in my opinion, this is a bounce that could absolutely result in Bitcoin hitting $125,000. We might even see the price come higher simply because of some of the signals we're printing right now on the chart as the price is coming to a pivotal, crucial, critical area of support. As you can see, here we are right now getting a bounce from the Fibonacci golden pocket retracement from the low that we made here in June 2025 to the all-time high. And you can also see that we're coming back right now to backtest this crucial low at 111842. Now, this crucial low at 111842 is actually the support resistance flip that goes back to May before the big breakout and this new all-time high for Bitcoin. Now, what's so interesting about this is when you have a sideways range with a clearly defined high like this and a clearly defined low like this, the probabilities say that if you get a move above the clearly defined high and then you actually close the candle back inside, probabilities are highest will actually come back down toward the low of that sideways range. Now, the opposite is true. If you come below a sideways range, but then you come back inside, the probabilities are highest that we make our way back to the top of the range. Now, we are knocking on the door of this previous range. And as we are knocking on the door, we are seeing some very, very bullish signs on the chart, very bullish confirmations that are printing here. And I don't think we should ignore them. I'm seeing a lot of people feeling very bearish right now. And I'm not here to tell anybody how to feel about the market, but we do need to be careful and understand that just because things have been bearish for the past 2 weeks, when we come down to a critical area of support, and especially when our indicators are showing us bullish signs, we need to take that seriously. I just want to remind you what happened back in April when everybody was very, very bearish. We had our sideways range here. We came down below, and we were basically saying the same thing then that we're saying now. If we come back inside the sideways range we were saying back in April when Bitcoin was still in the 80s, the probabilities are highest we're going to make a new all-time high at around $115,000. We saw historic bullish signals on our indicators that historically give us big moves to the upside. All right. So as we are coming to this zone here, and if you want to trade Bitcoin and altcoins, I'm currently trading on KCEX, BLOFIN, and WEEX. All three of these exchanges, guys, are currently offering rewards and sign-up bonuses, and they're doing regular cash giveaways during my weekly live streams. KCEX currently has the lowest fees, period, and BLOFIN is offering tons of awesome rewards for trading. So links in the pinned comment and description if you are interested. And we are attempting to get a move back inside. If we take a look actually at our oscillator here, market Cipher B, what is printing? We are actually seeing right now an extremely bullish signal printing right now. It's called a hidden bullish divergence. Now, back in April, we had a bottom signal characterized by a deep momentum wave and a shallow momentum wave. This is called a bullish divergence. Medically, it's known as an uneven butt cheek pattern. or also as we call it, Bataxius crooked in the Latin. Now then we made a higher low into around $100,000, and we got a trigger wave, just continued direction, right? We could draw a trend line connecting the waves. This is a continuation pattern. From now on, after you get your initial butt cheek pattern followed by that trigger wave, every single higher low is going to be characterized by a lower momentum wave, which is exactly what we're seeing now. We're seeing the oscillator is telling us that Bitcoin is very oversold with a hidden bullish divergence as we're bouncing from probably the most important support level that we have currently right now for the past few months, going all the way back to November 2024. So this support is almost a year old support, golden pocket, multiple confluences from here, and we're seeing bullish signs on the chart. Now, I'm not the kind of guy that just takes a trade or has a bias based on one. But let's just go and backtest this 2-day time frame bottom here. The last time we got a 2-day bottom, we got a big pump of about 25%. The time before that, we got a big pump of about 50%. The time before that, we got a big pump of about 15%. And the time before that, we got a pump of about 22%. All right. Now, even as we're consolidating here, these green dots are giving us moves of 24%. We had one also over here giving us a move of 12%. So first of all, even when this signal prints in the middle of nowhere, which is the green dot under the 0 line on the 2-day, at the very worst here, we're getting 12%. Now, when you come down to a support that has more confluences than pretty much any other level for the past year right now on the chart, and you're seeing a divergence here, right? This is not just any old bottom on the 2-day. It's also a divergence. Well, in my opinion, we should take that seriously. And as we go down to the 4-hour time frame, as we are tapping into this key zone right here, what are we seeing? We have seen the money flow on the 4-hour time frame curve from the blue into the purple, and it's now actually starting to curve back into the blue. We have seen the momentum waves bottom out and start to come back up. And here's what's so key about all of this. As the momentum waves and the money flow are starting to come back up, the price is consistently making lower lows. This is called, again, a bullish divergence. And it means that the oscillator is telling us money and momentum is coming into the market, and yet people are still selling, pushing the price down. That is why the asset is called oversold. There needs to be a correction to the upside. So what do we need to do right now if we want to see more bullishness? Well, obviously we need to come back inside of this area here. All right. Reclaiming $112,000 is actually our first major sign of strength, because this is now going to show us that this whole entire, since the last week of August kind of move here, has pretty much just been a fake out. The shorters, which there were many who opened up here, are now going to start to get wrecked, okay? But because of what I'm seeing on the chart, I also have to be in a buy the dip kind of mode, all right? We are at resistance, which means a move down could very well come. If a move down comes, well, that will discourage a lot of people, right? But here's how I'm personally looking at it. I actually welcome a drop here for 2 reasons. Reason number 1, if we get a drop right here, that will give me now an opportunity to buy, or should I say long Bitcoin, with very, very bullish signals printing on the chart. All right. Even if we were to make another lower low here, let's say we came down to like 105. Man, think about what this would do to the market. Most people would be extremely fearful and scared. But if we were to look at the oscillator, as we come down to 105, we would literally be seeing the money flow crossing from the purple into the blue as the price is making a lower low. And we do actually have a very key support down here at 105, right? So this is a macro analysis. I'm not saying we can't drop here. I actually welcome a drop here. But what I am saying is, if we do get a drop here, we're seeing the chart flip bullish, even though we're still at support. So there's 2 ways I'm personally looking at this here. Way number 1 is we simply make a higher low, and then we can get into a long trade and form a nice rounded bottom, right? That would be very beautiful. And we get a nice trigger wave right here, right? Continuation pattern. because we had our divergence right over here. And then our next wave would be the continuation pattern. Way number 2 I'm looking at this is we actually drop down a little bit lower just to freak everybody out. But now we're seeing a triple drive of divergence, aka a trichecular pattern. A trichecular pattern is where instead of having a left butt cheek and a right butt cheek, you actually have 3 butt cheeks in a row. And the last time we saw a trichecular pattern here, on the daily time frame at least, was back in April's low. Would you look at this? We had something very similar to what we have going on right now in our 4-hour. We had our bounce, we made our lower low, we had our uneven butt cheek pattern, but then we actually freaked everybody out, and we got that third butt cheek, the trichecular pattern, and that was the bottom. Now, these are 2 scenarios I'm currently looking at for a potential long trade right now of either getting a higher low or even making a lower low. Now, the third option is simply this. If we reclaim 112,000 and then we come back down for the back test, that also gives us an entry point from historical support resistance, right? You always want to buy low and sell high. Well, this line right now is high. Would I be longing this now? No, because we're longing resistance. You don't want to do that. But if we pump above this level and then we come back down for a back test, what used to be resistance is now being back tested as support. And then we can get ourselves into a potential trade here to get a move up to potentially a new all-time high. Now, Jason, couldn't you be wrong? Couldn't we be bearish? Sure. Bitcoin could drop. But I actually really do trust these high time frame signals on Market Cipher B. They very, very rarely do they let me down. And although we can have short-term, low time frame volatility during these signals, they very rarely let me down. And I've traded them with some pretty good success rate over the past many years. Okay, so what would actually make me now flip bearish? I mean, the only possible way I could be bearish here is if we don't hold, let's say, like this low right here. All right, then I would say my entire bullish scenario needs to be thrown out. And I also acknowledge the fact that I'm premature in the sense that we have not even changed market structure at all. Like a move above these previous highs is obviously going to now be officially a change of market structure on the daily. I recognize I'm front running the change of market structure, but the oscillator, in my opinion, is giving me permission to front run the change of market structure. And so I am looking for higher prices. I am potentially looking for a move to $125,000. Of course, we have 112, which is going to be very key. And then we have, let's see here. We're going to have 112 to 113.7. If we reclaim, if we start making prices above this, I'm going to be extremely confident that we are going to be seeing a new all-time high on Bitcoin. And I do believe that will be the high of the cycle for this year, early next year, and then we can wait about a year and before we want to actually start buying Bitcoin on spot again for the next big bull market. So this is a crucial level. I'm feeling bullish here. If I'm wrong on this, then I'll admit I was wrong, okay? But I've been pretty right so far. That being said, God bless you guys in the name of Jesus, Yeshua, the Messiah. I sincerely pray that you and your family are very blessed in multiple ways. And I'll see everybody in the next video. Peace!